Hey, John, thanks for your work here in week five and last few weeks as well as I'm getting caught up and enjoying your just careful consideration of the text each week. And this week five is no exception. You got some really good insights, I think, in both forums. I think what I want to underscore by way of reply is the way that scribes use words according to their own character and judgment. So often today, the interpretation of the Bible is conceived as something of just kind of using the right method and coming up with the right answer for what something in the Bible means. But you can see from what Jesus is teaching his disciples that in order to know, for example, as scribes being trained by the kingdom of heaven, what to draw from their treasures of old, old things from those treasures, and what to draw that's new, like how to balance that. I don't think there's any formula for that. That requires the prayerful, sound judgment of the interpreter, the teacher, the one who is guiding the community. And so I think that's a really just good insight for what it means to be trained by the kingdom of heaven. It means our character and our judgment is being formed by the presence of that kingdom among us and in us, and inspiring us to use our words in ways that give life, in ways that convey truth. And I think it's not possible to say what that is always going to sound like or how that is always to be done. We have to be sort of living participants in God's ongoing revelation in the way that we participate in that. So that was one. The other one, I think, is from something you've written in Forum 2, or excuse me, Forum 1. And this is about the unpardonable sin, as it's sometimes called, blasphemy against the Spirit, and what it is about the authorities that Jesus is confronting there that are accusing him of using the power of Beelzebul to cast out demons. Like, what is it that seems to animate them to oppose Jesus so vigorously and to speak in the way that they do? So, first of all, I think it's important that blasphemy against the Spirit is distinguished in this passage from blasphemy against the Son. So it's really specific to how these authorities are talking about the Spirit, about this healing power that is flowing from Jesus, as well as other people. And when Jesus warns them against blaspheming that Spirit, it seems to me that he's warning them against a certain way of talking, especially as authorities, a way of talking that would tell people to run away from this power of the Spirit that is actually the hope of their healing. So they're scattering people from the hope of life and healing for them. And that is something that the people over generations will not forget. It will be remembered that this is how some of Israel's teachers in Jesus' day taught, and that is how they will not be forgiven in this age or the age to come, insofar as they continue to speak publicly against the Spirit, against this power that is liberating the people. I think the reason that they are so alarmed by Jesus, you remember in the beginning of that passage, the crowds are beginning to ask if Jesus might be the son of David, the heir to David's throne. So he's clearly amassing a significant following. He's gaining power and influence. And because he is doing that while also challenging some of the commitments of these teachers in Israel, I think that's why they are so alarmed. The fact that he is able to heal some people is not enough for them to think that he is safe or trustworthy because of the other things that he's doing that are presenting a challenge to their government in Israel and to what they think is the right way forward for their people. So it's easy, I think, sometimes to be dismissive about these characters in Matthew, scribes and Pharisees, other people, authorities who oppose Jesus. We want to do our best to try to kind of understand where they're coming from and to see what might be driving them as something that's plausible and maybe even something that we experience in the face of God's revelation in Jesus, which can be unsettling or disturbing to us as well as it was to some of the teachers and authorities in Jesus's day. Anyway, thanks again for some great work. I hope this reply is helpful to you and looking forward to more of your work in the weeks ahead.